In the year 1066, as war drums echoed across the English hills, one man sailed from the icy fjords of Norway with 300 longships and a burning ambition to claim a crown not his own. He was a warrior, a mercenary, an emperor's bodyguard, and a king. He was Harald Sigurdsson, better known to history as Harald Hardrada, the Thunderbolt of the North. The making of a warrior king. Born around 1015 in Norway, Harald Sigurdsson was the half-brother of Olaf Haraldsson, the man who would later be sainted as Saint Olaf. At just 15 years old, Harald charged into the bloody Battle of Stiklestad alongside his brother, trying to reclaim the Norwegian throne from Knut the Great, the powerful Danish king who had taken control. But fate was not on their side. Olaf was killed, Harald wounded, and Norway lost. So began Harald's incredible exile, not as a prisoner, but as a warrior in search of destiny. A Viking in the East. Harald fled to Kievan Rus, where he served under the mighty ruler Yaroslav the Wise, and yes, that's the same Yaroslav who shaped Eastern Europe's future. Harald became a military captain, earning trust, status, and experience. But his hunger for adventure led him further, to the jewel of the East, Constantinople. There, Harald joined the Byzantine Varangian Guard, a fearsome elite force of Norse warriors serving the emperor. For almost a decade, Harald fought across Asia Minor, Sicily, the Mediterranean, possibly even the Holy Land, and was deeply involved in Byzantine palace intrigue. He amassed a vast treasure, and sent it back to Yaroslav for safekeeping. Return of the King. By 1042, Harald left the Byzantine Empire and returned to Rus, now prepared to reclaim the throne of Norway. But there was a problem. His half-brother's illegitimate son, Magnus the Good, already sat on the throne. Harald, never one to back down, allied with Magnus' rival, Sweyn II of Denmark, and began raiding Danish coasts to pressure Magnus. Magnus chose diplomacy over war, and in 1046, Harald and Magnus agreed to share the kingship. But just 1 year later, Magnus died unexpectedly, leaving Harald the sole ruler of Norway. The iron-fisted ruler. As king, Harald crushed opposition, centralized power, and modernized Norway's economy. He introduced coin-based currency, expanded foreign trade, and worked to strengthen the nation internally. But Harald's ambition was not satisfied. He dreamed of reviving Knut's North Sea Empire, and turned his attention toward Denmark. For almost 20 years, Harald led relentless campaigns against Denmark, fighting Sweyn II, his former ally. He won battles, burned villages, and dominated the coasts, but Denmark eluded him. In 1064, he finally renounced his claim to Denmark. But his eyes turned west, toward England. The road to Stamford Bridge. In 1066, Harald received an invitation, from Tostig Godwin's son, the exiled brother of England's King Harald. Tostig pledged loyalty and urged Harald to claim the English throne, arguing that old promises made Harald the rightful heir. Harald agreed. He launched an invasion of England with 10,000 troops and 300 longships. On September 20th, Harald defeated English forces at the Battle of Fulford, near York. His victory seemed assured. The last Viking falls. But 5 days later, on September 25, 1066, came a battle that would end an era. Stamford Bridge. King Harald Godwin's son marched his troops 190 miles in just 4 days, and caught Harald by complete surprise. Harald's men, many of whom had left their armor behind in the heat, were overwhelmed. In the chaos, Harald Hardrada was struck down, some say by an arrow to the throat. The end of the Viking Age. Harald's invasion was crushed. His remaining men limped back to Norway with only 24 of the 300 ships. Just 3 weeks later, Harald Godwin's son himself would fall to William the Conqueror at the Battle of Hastings. Harald Hardrada's death at Stamford Bridge is considered by many historians to mark the end of the Viking Age. But his legend never died. He was the ultimate Viking adventurer, a king who fought emperors, defied fate, and died with a sword in hand. If you enjoyed this story of conquest, betrayal, and legacy, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wise Rulers. Tell us in the comments, do you think Harald Hardrada could have won at Stamford Bridge with better planning? And stay tuned for more epic rulers who changed the course of history.